Hello ladies and gents, and welcome to Nip Gaming TV. I can confirm that I am Kyanite and not John Cena. And remember when I said I'd be solo casting? Apparently I won't be, because Chewy has decided to join me and replace Milosh from the last game. So Chewy, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm not too bad, thank you. I was going to stream myself on my little tiny channel and then saw that you were live and heard...
To be fair, no one wants to hear you cast anyway,
Exactly.
So you might as well. So
know,
if you could just be kind enough to leave TeamSpeak, that'd be great.
I'd just do it for your sake, just to help you out, bro.
Oh, what a nice man you are. But anyways, Navi versus Vexed, a pretty decent game on our hands. Obviously, Navi need no introduction, and Vexed, well, we all know what they did when they were under the E-Battle tag, of course. But there we go, straight into the knife round. And map number 1 is in fact going to be Dust 2. Map number 2 will be Cobblestone, and then map number 3 will be Train. So I think we're going to have 3 very, very interesting maps on our hands, of course, providing we go to 3 maps.
Yeah, certainly should do indeed. Now, how have these guys been performing so far in the league as it is? Because I've not been able to keep up to date with it fully. I would have thought that Navi had been doing pretty well so far, but I know not too many games have been played as of yet, I believe.
As things currently stand, I believe this is the first game of this group in particular, as far as my memory serves me right. So obviously this is going to be a big game. On paper, personally, I'm expecting Navi to take it 2-0. And with this, of course, being the first game of this group for these 2 teams, I think it's going to be one heck of a watch as well. 2 teams with quality players. But as far as my prediction's concerned, I'm still going to put my neck on the line and predict a 2-0 win for Navi. I think even though Vexed are a very solid side, obviously arguably the second best Polish side in competitive Counter-Strike at the moment, I still think Navi are quite a significant level above Vexed in this scenario. Yeah,
but I certainly think they're going to put up a fight for sure. Again, you said we all know what damage that E-Battle team have done before, now, as you say, under that Vexed organisation roster. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do on these maps. I don't know who picked which map. I don't know if we've got that information as well, but it'll be interesting to see who picked Dust 2 and then, of course, who picked Cobble as well.
Here we go. We begin. And Navi on one of their favourite maps, without a doubt, Dust 2. Looking to deal the damage. Putting all their eggs in one basket. The mass majority of their men heading straight towards lower tunnels, leaving one person towards the top of mid. He is going to pop flash Edward in, who's going to be looking to pop heads with that Rec 9. The smoke goes down towards CT spawn, which will make Rallen somewhat ineffective. And Navi are going to be looking to take control of this B-bomb site. There's the first from Guardian. He will make it a double. And the B-bomb site is now Navi's bomb site.
It was a really well-played situation by Grubby initially, getting some early information in the B tunnels and pushing through aggressively. He simply just didn't manage to land his shots, and I think it was Guardian who managed to push through with that first kill, enter things onto the bomb site, but left him to a 3-on-3 as Furlan does respond onto Guardian in that tunnel area. Flamey's peeking around the door, though, and will take out another player in Rallen. This is back and forward, though, for Vex. They haven't got a kit, and that clock is ticking on the bomb.
It is. Seized is looking to seize the day and seize the round as he will finish off Hyper. And now Furlan in a 1 versus 2, surrounded by angry Navi players. And before you know it, he will get shot in the face by Flamey. And there it is, 1-0 to Natus Vincere.
Yeah, good start from them all round. We had to say nice entry frags onto that B-bomb side as well. You saw them take great mid-control, just doing the usual things, smoking out that CT area once they realised that there was a player down there. And I think they actually sent 3 or 4 players through mid right onto that bomb side initially. So we are going to see Vexed force up 4 players with armour and a scout in the hands of Pete.
So straight stampede into the B-bomb site, but Grubby has actually managed to get a kill with the CZ75. Pete has been forced to fall back out, but at least now he can maybe give that scout to one of his teammates who might end up being slightly more effective with it. The bomb is on the B-bomb site, but I love how Navi have left C's at the top of mid here. He should be able to rotate in from mid, surprise the CTs, and deal a heck of a load of damage and take them by surprise. And this round, still, I can only see it going in Navi's favour.
But look at the overwhelming Vex players pushing through. They've actually managed to land it into a 1 versus 1 as Hyper picks up an incredible... Sorry, it was Hyper, I apologise. Picks up the 2nd kill in a row there and manages to win the round. He even picked up a triple in that round. That was incredible by Hyper, out of absolutely nowhere. 2 PT50 kills, and maybe Navi got a little complacent.
feel like the second they got on the B bomb site, they needed to act with more explosiveness, speed up the tempo, bring down those CTs and get the bomb down rather than wait and allow Vexed the opportunity to rotate round. And Seized, playing that lurker role, really failed to flank the CTs from behind, even though he had the AK-47 and armor. But it's not the end of the world just yet. Vexed already showing what they're made out of, and with a chance to take the lead now that they're the team with weapons. So let's see if they can do it.
Not surprising that Na'Vi force up straight away once again. They're going for those Tech 9 buys, upgrading the pistols, of course, and armor as well. And Guardian with the scout, which isn't all too uncommon as well. Things they're heading their way over towards this A-bomb side initially, getting that early mid control, trying to peek through those mid doors to see what they can find. And then a lot of players now, all 5 of them in fact, stacked up on that short area looking towards the A-bomb site. But nice work of the counter-grenade. Vex, you can see that Molotov going down just to slow Na'Vi down that little bit more.
Execution begins. Smokes have been lobbed towards this A-bomb site. Hyper is literally playing with fire, but he hears the Na'Vi players coming towards him. Sprays and prays, gets the double. Lovely AK work from Hyper. And Vexed Gaming should really be able to shut down this Na'Vi attack, especially with Furlan at long. Bomb will go down, however. Well played from Seized. But is the retake going to happen? Robbie thinks so.
There we go, it will happen indeed. Grubby manages to pick up the final kill of the round, and nice work by Na'Vi to be able to get the bomb down there in that situation. They did do a good bit of damage taking down 3 players, but Vexed, of course, with those all-important rifles in hand, did manage to deal the significant damage in round number 3. So a 2-1 lead, very important for them that they were able to convert after winning that forced buy in round number 2 there, so good work from the CT side.
So what can Na'Vi do? Finally gonna mount what they can, but it's still not exactly looking phenomenal for them. Guardian with the AWP. As long as he's got that sniper rifle, he'll continue to deal the damage. He's such a significant player for this Na'Vi side. He's extremely experienced as well, dating back to his Reason gaming days back in CS Source. And let's see if Na'Vi can capitalise on this now.
Didn't surprise me that he brought up an AWP there, even with 3 of his teammates having to buy Tech 9s once again here. The fact that he just went for the AWP straight away, I don't think he even had a look at the rest of his teammates' economy when the round started. He just straight away went for the AWP, so feeling confident already. We'll see if it works, as Zeus, one of those players scouting out with just the Tech 9 in hand, will be dispatched off. Pete in a little cheeky spot takes out Seized there, so now the CTs have that man advantage. Na'Vi, you can see how split up they are. They've got one player, I think that's Edward, actually just making his way down from T-spawn area now, but it looks like they're going to move into the B-bomb site here.
Yeah, I feel like Na'Vi would have been better off sticking together and trying to push that B-bomb site rather than sending a Lone Ranger in there. But Guardian is going to open the bomb site up with Flamey as left-hand man. Fantastic headshot from him. And again, the same as the pistol round, the bomb site belongs to Natis Vincere, and this is their chance to hold it. Furlan and Rallen starting to make their way towards this bomb site, both from the B ramp area. As they hear that bomb ticking, Furlan is going to pop flash his teammate in, and here we go, the retake commences. Furlan is going to nail the cranium of Flamey with a 9mm bullet, and now Guardian needs to go big. He's going to make it a hat-trick of frags. Can he make it 4? Yes, he can, with the no-scope. Fantastic play from a phenomenal player in Guardian. 2-2.
What a round. That was absolutely crazy. I kind of jumped up in my chair when he picked up that final no-scope. I have no idea how the player with the M4 entering onto that bomb site wasn't able to kill him. It was maybe the nerf of the M4 and the fact that it only has 20 rounds in that magazine that stopped him from picking out Guardian. But still, there was another player in Edward, I believe it was, still alive. So great work from Guardian with the quad overall. And I said about how he's evidently feeling confident to be able to pick that thing up so early, even when 3 of his teammates had nothing to work with but Tech 9s. And great round from Na'Vi. Now it's Vexed back onto pistols.
It is. Zeus is going to manage to find the kill on Rallen on short. And now Na'Vi looking to stick together as a unit. They don't want to lose any of these AK-47s, give them away. I think Zeus has noticed, yeah, they'll definitely have heard Rallen, or Furlan, sorry, playing from the A-ramp area. And not much Vexed can really do here, Chewy. They might even allow the bomb to go down on the A-bomb site, try and regroup together, and try to get an exit frag or 2. That's what seems to make most sense at the moment.
Yeah, most definitely. You can see the position of Grubby at the second. He's in T-spawn, lurking around that area, just wondering if any Na'Vi players will be exiting through that area of the map. But so far, the AK-47s have been reigning supreme, and that's obviously a really important thing here, is when you're able to buy up fully for the first time and pick up those AKs and Guardians still with that AWP in hand, if all 5 of you can stay alive and you don't have to re-buy too much apart from just the utility, then you stand yourself in good stead. But on the other side of things, the Vexed economy is in pretty dire straits once again here, so still on pistols for round number 6.
Grubby with the 50, trying to lay down the bullets onto one of these incoming Na'Vi players. For people wondering, this is Navi's map pick. They chose D-Dust 2. They chose Dust 2. Then Vex chose Cobblestone, and the third map, of course, will end up being Train. So hopefully that clarifies things for you. But Vex, not much they can do here. No armor, even only pistols, so they can't really take on any long distance battles at mid. Try and patrol and control mid and short, which of course is so crucial on a map like Dust 2. But it does seem like Na'Vi are going to make their way up B ramp. They should be able to take control of this B bomb site. Should be able to isolate this player playing from car. There he is. Pete will get killed, and it should be really an easy round for them.
Yeah, for their mistakes in round number 2, when they, slightly took things a bit less, apprehensive than they should really do maybe on an anti-eco round. They're certainly making up for the error of their ways now. Good work so far. They managed to realise that there was only that one player on the new bomb site, so continued onwards. And now they're looking to deal even more damage here, as that's actually Hyper and Ralin taking out 2 kills with just those pistols. But still all round Na'Vi with another round on the board. I believe that's 3 in a row now, if I'm not mistaken. And we will finally see Vexed buy up once again here. Only going for 1 AWP, I believe, in the hands of Pete. That too.
Yep. Both Pete and Furlan opted to go for this double AWP setup. So most likely 1 at mid, 1 at B. Yep, there is the mid kill from Pete. Is he going to go? Yep, he's actually going to go to B. So Furlan's going to use his AWP off short to try and catch any terrorists making their way towards lower tunnels or towards the top of mid. But that's a great entry frag for Vexed. And now they need to hold on to it. They've gotten the first frag. They need to fall back, play more passive, get defensive. They can't allow this to slip back into a 4-on-4. But I guess it's not really doing Na'Vi any favours when Edward fails flashes like that. But fortunately, someone has one at the top of mid. There's a pop flash into mid. It will now allow Edward to get into a position to smoke CT spawn should he want to do so. And Na'Vi could, again, mount the mid to B push.
I thought for a second there was actually a flash that bounced off the back of Flamey's head as he went through middle doors there, but I'm not too sure if it did. It looked like the animation did so anyway, but still, this is what we expected kind of from Na'Vi now in this situation. After that early frag onto such a crucial player like Guardian, they've taken things really slowly, and kind of, we discussed this quite a lot about how darn slow Na'Vi take their T-side on Dust 2, so this isn't all too surprising from them, but I'm liking the way that Vex is kind of taking the game into their own hands and not letting Na'Vi catch a break, although as soon as I say that, Flamey does take down Rallen, so Grubby's got a lot of work to do on this B-bomb site, along with Pete even.
Grubby, last line of defense over towards B, and what a defense he has mounted. 2 kills for him. Played it passive from the bomb site, and what was lovely was the fact that he had a teammate watching tunnels as well, so really well thought out by the Poles. And the second that Na'Vi, because they left it so late, they pretty much had to execute up B ramp, given their current positions. They didn't advance up long. They didn't really have any men in upper tunnels, so they pretty much had to gamble on the mid to B with the 1 smoke that they had. But Grubby waited and waited and waited, and then sprayed down 2 of the 3 last remaining Na'Vi players with ease. Great stuff. And Pete has gone and gotten the first frag again on the CT side.
Look at how aggressive Ed was playing, though. Instantly wants to react to that first kill coming in for that CT side with the AWP, and matches 1 of his own here. I think they've got information about where they could be. Grubby using the side of the smoke to his advantage there. He picked up 2 in the last round, and he's picked up 2 once again here. Na'Vi cannot catch a break, it seems, when going for that mid to B push. They've also got the bomb, and Guardian with the AWP, he was looking to save it. Hyper is not going to let that happen. He will frag Guardian down, all even once again. 4-4, and I'm really liking the way that Vexed are playing this.
Yeah, good stuff, but again, this is very unlike Na'Vi. They don't really seem too coordinated, almost like they're getting complacent at times, which is very unlike them. I'm not sure whether they've been through a break given the current, obviously, LAN events that they've been attending, so we'll wait and see, but I do still feel like they have just about enough quality in their lineup to see them win this map. But here we go. Grubby looking to go aggressive in tunnels. He'll get so much information here, and that's pretty much it. The call will come in to the rest of his teammates that, guys, no one's in upper tunnels. Check mid. If no one's at mid, it's very unlikely that it's going to be a mid to B, but he's actually going to walk straight into Seized, and he'll seize the moment. Get the headshot onto him, but he's going to be changed down by Flamey, who returns a frag and will now pick up that AK-47 potentially. So it's still, without a doubt, round on. Can Navi maybe, just maybe, cause an upset?
That was a really dangerous thing there. Like, with Grubby picking up that first frag, that was great. And we saw him kind of look to back off, and I thought he was going to go back onto the B bomb site, but he still carried on in that position. Rallen, again, just manages to catch the edge of Flamey onto the edge of the smoke there. It's back and forth trades, now leaving us into a 3 versus 2. So you can see how split these CTs are. But look, the man on your screen now, Hyper, he's pushed through long doors, and he's got that information of where that player is in mid. They're both actually there in that situation, so it'll be interesting to see if they can try and do any damage with the AK. Guardian will now pick it up, but this should still be another Vexed round. Look at the clock as well. 20 seconds left. Guardian, that was a lovely shot with the AK, but I think it's just going to be the final frag of the round. These 2 AWPs still in the hands of Vexed here. 5-4 is the score, and now they've taken 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah, really well played from the Vexed player. I think it was Pete who pushed long. He essentially trapped the Navi players in front of double doors to the point where they pretty much couldn't escape. Solid defense from Vexed, and it's not looking too badly for them now. This double AWP setup really reaping the rewards for them. But again, you can argue Guardian on his own. It's like a 2! Like a double AWPer, and all so close to making it 2. I think he may have just spotted the barrel of one of the other AWPers as well. This guy is on fire at times. And that's Groovy, who's down for the count. And Vexed down to 4 so early on. And that's one of the advantages when you've got a player as good as Guardian in your team. He gives you that advantage so early on.
I'd love to see like how many rounds so far in this game have been with AWPs as like the opening frag of the round. We saw it so much earlier on, and now Guardian once again doing it. I think that's the second round that he's been able to open things up with that AWP, of course, with that quad round that he got just a little earlier on. So a good start here for Na'Vi to try and break that small amount of momentum which was built up by that Vexed side when they picked up 3 in a row. But again, as suspected, Na'Vi picking up that opening kill, but then taking things slowly. We can see that Guardian setting up with those smoke grenades and all sorts of utility raining onto that A-bomb site. Not dedicating to the push as of yet, though, because Vexed will respond. Pete catches out Guardian, though, who wanted to try and peek through those mid doors. We're back into a 4-on-4. Make that a 4-on-3. Will it be a 4-on-2? No, Flamey does respond, but Vexed still just about holding strong here, Knight.
Yeah, 3-on-2. Rallen's going to boost himself on top of the boxes. And, oh, so close to spraying down Zeus. But I think Zeus will get away with his life, and he's now going to be able to plant the bomb out in the open. And I'm going to put it out there. I potentially maybe fancy Navi to take this round if they play their cards right. Vexed, let's see what they can do. They are going to send one person straight through tunnels. And Rallen on B ramp. He's going to dodge right behind Zeus. He will shut him down, and he knows exactly where C's is hiding. Barrel's in the way, but should just about be able to finish him off. And there it is with the USP. No casualties for Vexed. Good retake from them. They timed it very, very well. They made sure that when Rallen pushed in from window, the person who was pushing in from tunnels as well kept C's at the back of the bomb site occupied. And they are again going to win yet another round, 6-4.
I think one of the saviours there for me in that round was Pete with that AWP, instantly catching Guardian off guard, who wanted to go first through those double doors in mid and find some information, and then picking up a second kill as Na'Vi still pushed their way through. And even though Vex maybe, you know, potentially slightly over-rotated and didn't leave anybody on that B-bomb site, they were still able to retake it really well. And Rallen, you know, sneaking through the window area onto that B-bomb site and coming around the back of the player who's looking down towards B-ramp, I think over towards CT spawn, you know, was just another thing accomplished, and they were able to get the retake easily. So 6-4 once again. Na'Vi will be able to buy, but Guardian hasn't got his all-important AWP.
No, he's got to deal with a scout. Hyper just using this smoke to get up close and personal to the Na'Vi players. But at the moment, they know that money's tight for Na'Vi, and Na'Vi have invested pretty heavily in smokes. Guardian's actually been put down on short to 50 points of health. And I think we could see an A-split attempt come out here. Guardian just making sure no one's at mid. And then I think give it a few more seconds and we'll see the smokes go over towards long. Execution come in, smoke to crossover as well. And then Na'Vi will up the tempo and try and take control of this A bomb site. And 3 people pushing long A. They should be able to outnumber the lone line of defense towards long. And can they do it? Yes, they can. Hyper actually hit behind them but couldn't capitalize. It's 4 on 2. The bomb will go down on the A bomb site. And Pete and Groovy with a very difficult retake to try and attempt now. And I don't think they're even going to bother.
No, that was much better coordination there from Na'Vi. Something which, in all honesty, you know, has been a bit missing so far, I have to say. You talked about it a little earlier on, that they looked slightly uncoordinated, maybe with some of their pushes, but that was much better. Earlier on, they looked to be taking rounds almost too slow, again, making pushes onto bomb sites with 20 seconds left, which is typical Na'Vi style on the T side of Dust 2. But there they had around about 40 seconds as they pushed out of long and on short as well, and they were able to trade the frag. They put down sufficient smoke grenades to give them cover, and they were able to seek out those hiding CT players. So another round on the board for Na'Vi. It's back and forth rounds here on Dust 2. 6-5 the score. Vexed will be able to buy it once again. He may have to drop for a couple of their players. The AWP, I think, will go... Yeah, no, Pete's just going to drop an M4 to Grubby and then pick up an AWP of his own. And Guardian's managed to salve one for himself. So let's see what happens in round number 12.
Grubby not able to go towards B. Again, so difficult to be the B player. Every time you try to cross double doors to go to try and protect your bomb site, Guardian's there waiting for you. And even when there's a massive metal door in between you and him, he still somehow manages to tag you. Unbelievable. I mean, there's a lot of people saying that this guy right now is probably the world's best AWPer, especially after Kenny S went through that tough period. So let us know what you guys in the chat think. But anyways, execution. Oh, no, actually, there's a minute to go. Na'Vi had me fooled there. They shouldn't have had me fooled. We all know with a minute to go, Na'Vi aren't going to full-on execute. Let's be real. But anyways, it looks like bomb has been left outside of A long. There's the smoke that's most likely going to cover the long corner. So as long as flashes go over, they should be able to isolate the player in Furlan, who's playing very up close and personal. Point-blank range, but Guardian somehow, he pre-fired the spot over the bin and gets the kill.
He must have flicked onto that so quickly, because I think Furlan unluckily just looked away at the last split second and then realised what was going on. Seized, fully aware of how Vexed play that mid position, will pick up 2, advancing progressively, but Pete, oh hello with the AWP. How did he pick up that second kill? Answers back very quickly indeed. They've only got 46 HP combined between 2 players here, Knight, but there's not much time left on the clock. Na'Vi need to get on that A-bomb site now.
Yeah, they need to get their running shoes on. Guardian will make Seized's life a lot easier, and with 5 seconds to go, the bomb has been planted, and now it's all down to Grubby to try and be the saviour for Vex. He's going to spray down Guardian at longer with Seized on only 6 HP. Ladies and gents, this is more than doable. He starts to make his way up long. He's anticipated exactly where Seized is hiding, and he will blow him to smithereens. And Grubby has managed to clutch this round. Fantastic play from the pole, and it will be 7-5 to Vexed Gaming.
I have to say, Grubby's been the standout player for me, but Pete with that AWP in mid, picking up 2 players, I believe, as they crossed over towards long. And once again, potentially that, you know, small amount of time left on the clock could have hindered Na'Vi in this situation, to be quite honest. Yes, they got the bomb down. Guardian picked up 2 kills to start the round off, but then missed that crucial shot on the final player. And Na'Vi were duly punished for it here. Into round number 13 we go. A Galileo in the hands of Seized. Again, a player who picked up 2 really nice kills, being sneaky in mid-doors in that last round. But that was a really great round there, Knight. If the rest of this series is anything like that last round, we're certainly in for a treat.
Yeah, for sure. Grubby playing the back of this B bomb site as usual. But Na'Vi, they've congregated now in and around double doors. They've left the bomb on catwalk, and they're slowly going to sneak what looks to be 3 men towards the mid to B area. But Grubby's got to be careful. I don't think Vexed realise what's coming now. The calls come in, and Grubby's finally woken up and smelled the bacon. Smoke's going down, but I don't think Na'Vi are going to commit. It's just mainly covered the B side of mid to allow Guardian to peek through CT spawn to see if he can get a kill onto the A bomb site. But he's actually not going to be able to. It's actually going to be Zeus to drop Hyper.
Yeah, he was using the side of that smoke there, Zeus, and I think that was a slight fail of a smoke grenade there, but still, they get the pizza Molotov out there to flush anybody off of that A-bomb site, but as suspected, Na'Vi still not committing to a push yet. We can see that Vex still have a bit of utility to work with. They've got 2 smoke grenades left, and they have got that incendiary grenade, which just popped down, but it will be an A split here. 20 seconds left on the clock as Seized picks up another kill, and it's all going to be left up to Rallen initially here in an absolutely crucial position, but they're actually backing off here, Kyanite. They know how slim the money could be if they lose this round, which is really looking likely. Na'Vi looking coordinated once again, and Kyanite, I have to say, you know, although it's high risk, it's certainly high reward as well with Na'Vi in this slow pace on the T side. Even when they leave it so late, when they can pick up those entry frags in that style and just push onto the A-bomb site, you know, and walk on there with ease, all credit to them for being able to do so like that.
Yeah, this is how confident Na'Vi are at the moment. Going to try and hunt down the CTs without a care in the world. Peter's actually managed to frag Zeus. But are they going to mount the push from upper tunnels? Their position is definitely being given away, but nah. Na'Vi in the end decided it's not worth it, guys. Let them save their weapons. And let's build up our own economy, because they really couldn't afford to lose more of those AK-47s themselves. Because really, when you look at it on paper, Vexed are still broke. They're just very fortunate that they got away with 3 weapons, which means they can still force things up just about.
Yeah, so we are going to see, I think, an M4... Oh, no, sorry, 2 UMPs dropped. Yeah, 3 managing to stay alive. But Grubby, one of those M4 players, again tagged through the door down to 36 HP. But look at Vernon here with UMP! He's pushing forward so aggressively, catching players off guard. Luckily, Flamey is there to save the day as he picks up 2, but it is instantly responded by these Vexed players. Back and forth frags all across the map. Na'Vi have got control of this B bomb site with a quick rotation from Rallan. And Hyper is coming in. Rallan even pushing through the smoke, and Kyanite, what is this round? This is crazy.
Guardian up against Hyper. And he's not going to plant the bomb. He's actually going to face out of window. See if he can spot him. And they've definitely spotted each other now. It's AK up against AWP. And you have to favour Hyper in that situation. Guardian knew that even if he tried to brute force the bomb plant down, that the second the Vexed player heard him basically press down the buttons, he was going to be right on his tail. And unfortunate there for Guardian. But can Vexed, most importantly, make this 9-6? If they can make this 9-6 and then win the pistol round come the second half, then God knows what might happen. And again, let's bear in mind, guys, I know some of you are asking, this is Navi's map pick.
Not surprising, but still, so far, I have to say, Vexed have been looking the more dominant side. In some aspects, Na'Vi, you know, again, it's dust 2 for Na'Vi. They're always going to be strong, but I've really been impressed by some of these Vexed players. We said to watch out for them, and even though this should really, on paper, be a Na'Vi win, you never quite know what a lineup like Vexed can do when they are in fine fragging form this evening so far, by the looks of things, picking up the first 2 kills of the round. They've also found another player over towards short. Na'Vi have plenty of time to work with this. Zeus finds the P250 kill onto Pete there, who was looking in the wrong direction.
Oh yeah, again, questions have to be asked. Furlan, however, is going to manage to decimate Flamey, and now Edwards try to dive down towards CT spawn. And there it is, ladies and gents. Vexed marching into the second half with a first half victory. But again, their opposition, we cannot underestimate them. Na'Vi, you know, they have, as an organisation in Counter-Strike, they have so much history behind them. And even the CSGO team, you know, there were points, obviously, when they played with Starix and so forth, where people felt that they sort of came to a standstill. But for me, ever since they brought Flamey in and made some roster changes, especially when you consider how well Guardian has been playing recently, they've honestly become one of the best teams in CSGO. And even though they haven't been that impressive in this first half, you just never know when they'll turn on the magic.
Yeah, most certainly so. And again, like, we can see that the halftime timer coming up, and I believe both teams have actually got a coach in play here. Starix is actually coaching for Na'Vi at the second. Omicron, I'm not too sure who that is. Looks like he's coaching for the now what will be T side of Vexed. But kind of, what do you think about coaches in CS:GO? We've never really talked about this before too much, you and I, on a cast. But I mean, especially in online games like this, how much do you think it could come into use for these two teams?
Personally, I mean, I'm really surprised that the whole coach thing didn't sort of catch on a lot more recently, because I feel like when you're a player, even when you're an in-game leader, especially when you're losing, sometimes you find yourself just sort of trapped between 4 walls with 4 players who there's so much pressure on you to try and figure out what the problem is, and simultaneously you've got to play and so forth. There's so much that you've got to process in your mind that it's a very, very difficult role. And sometimes just having that coach behind you who isn't concentrating on playing but really can focus on all players at once and utilize the mass majority of the processing power of his brain towards simply trying to figure out what he feels the issue is to help the in-game leader, it essentially adds another brain to the team, and that can only be a good thing. And we look at a lot of the coaches like Starix. I mean, just think about the experience Starix had. Even when Ninjas in Pyjamas had Natu, think about the experience that he brought to the table. So on a personal level, I think it's good that we're starting to see more coaches, and it's not really surprising that the teams who have brought on coaches have only really improved, bar maybe Ninjas in Pyjamas, who I think it's safe to say, I don't think, well, according to Natu, at least, no coach in the world would be able to sort out the current issues that they had recently. But if you look at other teams like Na'Vi, ever since they took Starix out the lineup as a player and brought him into a coach role, they excelled. And there's so many other teams out there who've had the exact same thing happen to them. Even Virtus Pro. You know, Virtus Pro, they won Katowice. Obviously, the first ever Katowice major final. But then they decided, or rather they didn't decide, but they went through a phase, maybe 6 months later, where they were really, really struggling. What do they decide to do? They bring in Cuban, obviously old member of the Golden Five, in as their in-game leader, and he basically transformed them, and it's well documented that if you look at the results, that he definitely did make a significant difference. So yeah, I really like the idea of coaches, and I'm really happy that we are starting to see more coaches. And just to clarify, Micron is the admin, not the Vexed coach.
Oh, okay, of course. Sorry, it's because the logo that he's got is relatively, on his picture, is actually relatively similar.
It looks like a red X.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where I mixed it up. Apologies about that. Hashtag blame Chewy. But yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I don't really need to expand on any more than you said. But we have got a quick pause coming in at the second, just before the second half does continue, guys. I think there's a problem with Rallen's microphone, they're saying in the chat at the second. So hopefully it won't be too long before we do go back live. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, kind of again, let's talk about this. There we go. It looks like we're live again. This is going to be an important pistol round here for Na'Vi to pick up, because if Vex take it and then can convert off that, that's going to really give them a healthy 12-6 lead, meaning Na'Vi got a lot of work to do already. So let's see if Na'Vi can prevail.
Do you reckon they can?
Yeah, of course they can. They've got a stacked roster, an experienced roster here, and they've played this map many and many a time, and it was their map pick as well, so they're feeling confident on it, so we'll see if it works.
Tempo is up. Pedal on the gas for Vexed Gaming as they rush straight up long, literally wasting little to no time. In such contrast to how Na'Vi normally play. That's a fantastic USP shot from Zeus. Edward as well, and I don't think Furlan realises there's a player trying to kukli him, but Furlan with the double knows exactly where Edward is hiding, and now it's all pressure on Pete to try and clutch with the P250, and Pete will clutch, and Vexed now winning the pistol round with a phenomenal chance to capitalise on this. You'd expect them now to go on and make this 12-6, meaning they'll have double the amount of rounds that Na'Vi will, obviously providing they win this round and don't mess it up. So Vexed really in the driving seat here.
That was heartbreaking for Na'Vi. I think they were in a 4 versus 2 situation, if I'm not mistaken. And again, maybe some complacency coming into play. Maybe a bit of caster's curse as well, because if anything kind of we can take away from this, it's looking like Vexed are feeling incredibly confident here on Dust 2. Even for Pete in that situation, to Pete that second guy again so confidently and not play the clock down with his P250 was absolutely phenomenal. So big respect for Vexed to be able to pick up that round as Pete starts things off. Furlan in fragging form as well, as they look to clean things up. Guardian will pick up a P250 kill, but it's just a 2 versus 4 now. They've got full control of this B-bomb site with the Vexed players, and it looks like they will just go hunting for this picked up Scout and Edward with that CZ.
I love it when I'm casting with someone and they say full control, because literally all I get in my head is Pasha's voice going, full control, my friend. But anyways, guys, go show some love to g2a.com, twitch.tv, eGaming Bets, and of course Steel Series, and of course GOCL, Go Champions League. You can go visit their website on gochampions.gg. You can go follow them on social media. Their social media links are on the bottom right-hand corner. And none of this would be possible if it wasn't for them. So please go show them some love. Go like their social media pages as well. They do skin giveaways from time to time. So who knows, you might be the owner of a Dragon Lore in a few months' time when they decide to give one away on their Facebook page. But yeah, Na'Vi pretty much broke here, Chewy. Does seem like 12-6 is probably the most realistic outcome after this, and I'm not really seeing Na'Vi put up much of a fight.
No, we can see that Vex once again are feeling confident, even with Na'Vi trying to get up close with those pistols over towards long. They won't even get anywhere near the long doors because Vex are pushing out, just like they did in the pistol round. So very aggressive here. Edward picking the smoke up one, but still, it's looking very good here for the Vex players. Hyper gonna flank around the back now. He's even gonna go for the knife here. And he's not gonna be able to get it. Land them in a whole spot of trouble here if they're not careful. Flamey will be the last one left alive. And, I mean, what do you think about that decision tonight there, Kynite? They do win the round anyway, so it's not going to matter. But maybe a bit of cockiness.
Bit of cockiness. But, you know, given Vex's current scenario in the game, why not? They're not exactly after too much money. They want to try and get into the heads of these Na'Vi players. More than they probably already are, because Na'Vi at this current point probably in a scenario where they don't believe what's happening. So Edward, let's see what he can do over here at long. Fortunately, he does have a teammate towards the corner to help him out. He pulled the trigger and just about manages to get the kill onto Furlan. He, however, holding the corner and will return and trade a frag onto Zeus. And it was all kicking off at long, and Vexed have pulled out. They don't want to toy with there anymore. They want to fall back and try and regroup. Let's see where they're going to head.
I think there was a slight over-rotation potentially there for Na'Vi because they actually had 4 players over towards A and well, one in mid it was actually seized by the looks of things who's now in CT spawn kind of area, and he was even over towards the A ramp section, so just that opening amount of attention over towards long there caused Na'Vi to rotate quite heavily, leaving just Flamey on that B bomb site, but they've now started to regain control of the entire map on that CT side, of course, through those double doors as Vex look to do the same now. They've moved their position, flashed their way through mid, but haven't pushed through quite yet, and they've made their way into the lower tunnel areas. Maybe they've got a good read here, Kynite, and know that there were quite a few players left on that A bomb site, so now making their way over towards B, but Edward takes down Rallen here. Vexed have got to make a move. There's 30 seconds left on the site. Grubby is just landing frags time and time again here. A bit of miscommunication as they put 2 smoke grenades down in the same position, but still, this is looking potentially very good here for Vexed.
It is. Those smokes should slow down the potential retake from Na'Vi, and the fact that they're sending one person towards lower tunnels means it's going to be incredibly slow. And you know what? The guy who's heading towards lower tunnels in Edward ain't even interested anymore. He's going to fall back to long, where we saw him early on in the round with this AK-47, and he's just going to try and hold on to it. And Na'Vi, on paper, you know, they're a pretty strong Dust 2 team. But they haven't shown up today. This is great work from Vexed. Some people in the chat were calling Vexed a tier 3 team, but I think simultaneously we have to bear in mind that this team, did they qualify for ESL 1 Cologne? I think they did under eBettle, didn't they? They qualified for the major.
I'm pretty sure they did.
So, you know, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with, and they're definitely showing us why here.
Most definitely so. Again, it's the kind of thing that you would expect Na'Vi to take this series, but we said it right before it started, you never know really what Vexed can do, and there's always potential for this roster to cause significant damage, and that's exactly what they're doing here. They're now pushing their way out of long, once again, very aggressively here. They've got the firepower advantage. Furlan and Hyper will use successfully here. Edward's going to be able to pick up a kill, but just look at how confident these players are, Kynite. They know it's going to be an eco round coming in from Na'Vi. They don't care about getting up close and personal with Na'Vi here. They want to make it, you know, and just control the game. And this is the thing, Na'Vi haven't had any control. It's just been playing around what Vex do so far on this CT side, in my opinion. And even when they were on their T side, it was trying to figure out what Vex were doing on the CT side and then adapting to that. Na'Vi haven't really, you know, gone to their game plan much, really, for me here, and it just shows in the scoreline.
So Vexed, can they find 2 more keys to unlock 2 more rounds of this Na'Vi defense? Guardian so close to getting caught, jumping so clumsily on short, but sees with a chance to get the opener, and there it is. Frag over towards tunnels. Grubby, his blood splattering down onto the floor, onto the back of that wall in tunnels. The B-bomb site on lockdown thanks to Seized. Meanwhile, the rest of the Vex players Creeper crawling up mid. No resistance just yet, but I'm sure they'll meet some very, very soon.
They most certainly will. So this is looking a lot better here for Na'Vi in this situation. Hyper going to flash his way in through that double doors, just being very cautious that Na'Vi could have pushed through aggressively, and there is a player in Edward very, very close with his teammate in Guardian just playing the corner there over towards long, but that clock is ticking down here, Karnite. Vexed have got 42 seconds left to work with. It looks like they're going for that A push now, but they are going to meet a lot of resistance, especially Guardian with that AWP. Zeus is going to trade frags though, as Guardian's going to pick up another one here, and now we're left in a 1 versus 3. Pete against 3 very angry Na'Vi players.
Got the AWP. Oh, just about missed the shot as Flamey tried to jump up, and he's going to try and get another. Pete gets the kill to his left, but it just wasn't enough in the end. He got completely surrounded by the Na'Vi players who boosted themselves up, and they will defuse it in the end, so Na'Vi will somewhat live to fight another day. But you can't help but wonder whether it's just, you know, a ticking time bomb, whether the damage has already been done.
This is the thing, I mean, Na'Vi are an experienced squad, and again, I don't want to sound biased, just, you know, already saying GG's before that 16th round does come up for Vexed, but Na'Vi haven't left themselves much room to play with here, so to speak. Again, you know, you said it was only 2 more keys to unlock the defense and win this entire game for Vexed, and they will be able to rebuy here, so Na'Vi need to just take this 1 round at a time, concentrate on, you know, forcing that economy down here for Vexed. If they win this round and don't let a bomb plant go down, I think Vexed could be in an awkward buy situation, potentially. So Na'Vi have got the capabilities to be able to do this. They showed there in that last round that they can hold down the defense pretty well, but still a lot of work left to do here on Dust 2 Karnite, even just to draw this game back into an even situation.
Zeus, the man who's control mid for the counter-terrorists, and Vex, they can taste victory at the moment. They know they can't afford any more mistakes. It'll do them a world of good if they manage to win this map, because of course it is their opponent's choice, so they'll be going on to Cobblestone, which was their pick, that they obviously feel that they can defeat Na'Vi on anyways, so let's see whether they can do it. I like how they've left Hyper in tunnels, just patrolling it, making sure that he catches any Na'Vi players who try to clear it, try to push through it and rotate round through lower tunnels to flank any T's at mid. But it does seem like we may see a B split. Smoke going down towards CT spawn. AK's going in first and flashes going over. And Vexed are looking to mount an attack towards a B bomb site. But even though they had people in B, they neglected long. And that allowed Edward to do exactly what you see on your screens right now. 14-8. Na'Vi still in this. Not down and out. And Vexed, well, unfortunately for any Na'Vi fans, they can still afford to buy up. But the question is, are they going to?
Yeah, that's the thing here. They've got
still pretty low.
Yeah, that's the thing. They've got to be careful here, because if they start to get into that situation where they just keep force buying time and time again and losing the rounds and stuff just to try and grind out one, you know, round win, it could really come back and haunt them, because Na'Vi will just grind out the rounds one by one and bring themselves back into the game. And Na'Vi have taken 2 rounds in a row here. Vexed, I like this decision just to go for Eco here, ensuring that they can buy up hopefully fully in that next round, come round number 24. So let's see if Na'Vi can take this one, and again, just try and pick up that momentum back in their favour, because they desperately do need it.
Nice boost coming in on Catwalk. Allows Rallen just to take a sneaky peek on Furlan's head. See if we can spot anyone trying to mount the double doors from the B ramp area. But I think what we may very well see here, again, is a potential B take. Furlan, he's the man who's boosting his teammate. He's watching long to make sure Edward can't do what he did in the last round. But again, only pistols. And wow, what a flick shot from C's. Guardian as well chiming in with an AWP of his own. And Vex, they're crumbling.
Yeah, not too much of a surprise again with just those pistols in hand. They try to scout out what they can, and Guardian knows exactly where Furlan will be coming from. Triple for him in that anti-eco round, and that will be now 14-9. So Na'Vi slowly clawing at high mountain to try and bring this back in their favour. Vex will be able to buy it once again here, also getting a lot of utility in hand. So let's see how they do decide to work that. They are going to smoke off double doors just to start things off initially, because they know that there's that double AWP setup seized in Guardian still with the AWPs in hand. So they've got to be very, very careful here indeed.
Flamey calling in that he needs backup, or does he? He's taken them on all by himself. This is brilliant play from Flamey at the back of the B-bomb site. But it still is a 2 versus 2, and the bomb is going to go down. Chewy, this is still anybody's round, and what a round to watch.
In comes the retake from Na'Vi here. Furlan very low on health, 19 HP. He's going to be careful. Guardian's going to try and spray through, jump around that box, and I think he may have seen that flash grenade come out, so he may have some intel here on where this player is. Furlan's going to be too slow on the reactions though, and Edward has woken up onto the B-bomb site. He's going to allow his teammate maybe to pick up a rifle. I almost wondered if he was expecting another player there or something. He looked over towards the B tunnels area, but still was able to defuse. 14-10 is going to be the score. Both AWP salvaged, and let's see what that's done to the Vexed economy. It's going to be a mixed buy at best here, kind of. Maybe they can drop or do something. I think a few players are going to have to be on Tech 9s. We'll see what Pete manages to pick up. No, it will be 5 AK-47s in the end, so they were able to drop for teammates. But this is it now, kind of. Again, this is what Na'Vi can do. They can claw back these rounds like this and come back into the game.
I think what's important is they need to try and shut down both Guardian and Seas, who have been so dominant with the AWPs. Guardian most of the time playing the long area. He's not there this time around, he's playing mid. But if they can maybe, just maybe, realise, catch Edward as he tries to push long, then they'll have the man advantage, and this is it. The pop flash was an attempt for Edward to push out long, get information and get a kill, but it's actually gone in the opposite direction. Seas is going to peek into lower tunnels, but as we can see, no one's actually there. This is very, very, very ballsy play from Na'Vi, but it's not paid off for them just yet.
Not just yet, and they're going to back off those positions now. We've still got Seized with that AWP. Rallen takes the battle and is punished for it duly there as Seized picks up the frag to return the situation back even once again. Now it's a 4 versus 4. Zeus is going to push through the doors just at the right time, and that will be Hyper down for the count here. So now Na'Vi with that man advantage. They've also got great information here. There was no more players over towards those long doors, so we can see initially now that Seized has already made his way onto the B-bomb site. All the damage coming down over towards B here. Flamey picks up another, and this is all going wrong for Vexed. Furlan looking to respond. Seized will get another one though, and now it's up to Pete. He's been the standout player alongside Rallen really from me so far, but he picks up 2 in a row. Look at those shots. How did he land that shot on Guardian there and towards CT spawn? It's now left up to Zeus. When he finally Zeus through the smoke, heartbreak for Pete because he doesn't pick up the 1v3 clutch, but well, kinda, this is such a good game.
Na'Vi still somehow fighting on. This is great Counter-Strike. And Vexed, well. Pistols and armor bar Rallen. No, Rallen's gone for it as well. I was wondering why he didn't. Still. Just don't think I can really see anything materializing. Nade going straight towards lower tunnels. Going to deal a lot of damage onto Groovy. The question at hand now is, what are Vex going to try and do? I feel like they've got to try and stick together as a unit, try and combine their pistols, not face Guardian and Edward one by one. Seized as well wants to join in on the action. And it is going to leave Rallen all by himself with the bomb. And I don't even think he can even get a bomb plant here. He's completely surrounded. Na'Vi is shutting him down. And there it is. 14-12. Vexed are crumbling. And they've got to sort it out. We could see an AWP in play here now. Are we going to see it? Furlan maybe? Highly doubt Furlan's going to go for an up. No, still all rifle setup, but they've got a heck of a load of smokes and molotovs to utilise. Let's see, they've surely got to have something up their sleeves.
Let's not forget the score, Kana. This was like a 7-6 scoreline at one point, and then Vexed won 7 rounds in a row, and now Na'Vi have taken 6. So this is just back and forth momentum, you know, pendulum swinging action that we've got on Dust 2, and Na'Vi seem to have woken up, especially Seized. He's been really picking up a good amount of crucial frags, and just look at how advanced Zeus is playing up here. Vexed were able to spot it, but he's going to be such a huge distraction now for this T side of Vexed to try and take him out. Seized peeking through lower tunnels. I just called him out for picking up his game, and he picks up the first frag of round number 27.
Has somehow managed to make his way all the way to Sniper's Alley, and this is how Na'Vi have changed things around. They're just literally playing this like it's a game of matchmaking, trying to basically adapt strategies that their opponents don't see coming and try and surprise them, and so far it's worked brilliantly. Individually they've got phenomenal aim, and that's why it works so well for them. And now Guardian's actually baiting the Vex players into coming up. That's a great flash from Zeus, and Vex are completely blind. Guardian with one, Edward will spray down the others. And 14-3, now the score. Look at the amount of consecutive rounds that Navi have won in a row. That's 7 rounds, momentum all in their favour. What a game.
And again, it's just that economy thing as well. I mean, Vexed haven't been able to do anything to damage the Na'Vi economy. Just looking at the amount of rounds they've won, in the last 6 or so, they've been able to keep at least around about 4 players alive. Pete will start things off, though, and maybe, just maybe, is the start of Vexed managing to try and swing that pendulum now back in their favour here. But just look at how cautiously they're taking it, Karnak. They're all holding hands. They're all having a cuddle in fear of the Na'Vi players with how great they've been to perform this incredible comeback. This was a 14-6 scoreline.
What are Vex going to try and do differently? We've got a glass cannon AWP on Pete. And really, even though he's a glass cannon, pressure's on this guy to step it up, to find an entry somewhere. Question is, can he do it? Hyper's managed to sneak his way towards lower tunnels, and they're in fact walking straight through double doors. He's going to peek window first, and there it is, the smoke straight towards CT spawn. But I love this boost coming out from Zeus. He shuts down Hyper, and that's no mid-to-B rush for Vex. Guardian's pushed long, and I'm sorry, but Navi know exactly where their opponents are.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute massacre for Vex if they are not careful. Edward with 2 picking up his game once again here. Verlaine responds though with 3 in a row. How did he pick up those kills tonight? Oh my god, what is this game? Guardian now, the last one left alive, and this is just absolute chaos.
Guardian needs to try and replicate what Furlan did, and he's not going to be able to. A moment of magic from a magical player of Furlan. Let's see the Vax spam in the chat, guys. I don't even know how that's humanly possible. I really don't.
That is just what they needed, kind of, after such a bad run of rounds, losing 7 in a row, and looking like they were going to run into the grinder here. Flamey goes down to Fallon, who's still on fragging form here, but Furlan could have just potentially won this game for Vexed in that situation. Na'Vi will be able to rebuy here, and now look at how aware, hypersensitive they are, being, you know, hyper here, that wasn't a pun, I promise, of this long push that's going in, because Guardian's done it time and time again here, but that round is going to replay in my mind and potentially the minds of Na'Vi for a long time here.
Advantage Vexed in an all-important round. This game going right down to the wire. And Vexed know they can't afford any more mistakes. They can taste victory up against Na'Vi. The question is, though, can they turn that taste into reality? Got Guardian and C's trying to go aggressive at mid and take full control of it, and Guardian takes control of the snipers battle. Hyper now looking to see if he can deal any damage at mid, and he does spot Edward onto short, and suddenly it's advantage Natus Vincere, but Pete is in upper tunnels waiting for Zeus, and now they're going to rotate to B. It's a game of cat and mouse. Molotov goes down, and C's will mow the Vex players down, and unless Furlan can repeat what he did in the last round, it's going to 15-14.
Seized, literally, again, has just picked up his game so much when needed here. That's the triple for him, shutting down the push on the B bomb site and not allowing Vex to do what they did earlier on. And the economy here for Vex is broken. I think kind of that could potentially be overtime here. Seized with that play, it confirmed that Vex's economy, you know, that round loss bonus is going to go completely down the drain here. And they're just on pistols. And this has been one absolute phenomenal map of CS here.
Well, Furlan, if you've got any of that magic left, mate, this is the time to pull it out the bag and use it. Vex, for me, they've got to stick together as a unit and up the tempo and run and gun. That's what the Rec 9s are good at. But instead, they've actually faked the mid-to-B push. They're only going to send one person up there, and the rest are going to push straight off short, because they wanted to fool the CTs, who are basically going to be looking over the boxes. But Guardian does what Guardian does best as he lands an AWP shot. Oh, so close to making it a double. But Vex, they're closing in on this A-bomb site.
This is actually pretty tense now because Hyper's also been able to pick up an M4. They've planted the bomb, but just look at how close they are to returning these frags. Edward jumping up from that elevator position. He does take down that player, so it's just going to be the 2 pistols left. Rallen's still going to be able to deal significant damage, though. His flamey sprays down, and he will confirm overtime here on Dust 2. What a map. This has been absolutely phenomenal. It was 14-6. Vexed, who were the underdogs really on this map, in all honesty, somehow don't manage to get it, and that shows why Na'Vi are one of the best teams in the world. That shows what individual talent they have and how they can just grind those kind of situations back in their favor somehow. Yes, I just need to settle down for a second and take a break.
Yes. You know what this needs?
What does it need, mate?
A play of the John Cena video. But no, it's not going to happen.
You're going to, like, kill that soon if you play it too much. You used it very well earlier, but don't, like, kill it.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, boss.
There's a time and a moment, good friend.
Okay, boss. Right. So still, I mean, you're praising Na'Vi for that comeback. Personally, I feel Vexed have done very well to even take this to overtime. Because, again, no one was expecting them to play this well on this map, which, of course, isn't even their pick. Oh, my God, it's being... Oh, gets barbecued at long. And that could be a perfect start for Na'Vi.
Really good, and Furlan's actually spotted another player there, pushing through his Edward, feeling super duper confident, and is duly punished for that as Furlan returns the frag there. So back into a 4-on-4 situation here in Kainak. This is just absolute manic play. I mean, what are some of these frags that we're seeing come out here? It's just been a pretty crazy map so far, I've got to say. Now we're treated to overtime as well. It is MR6 10K.
This is a top quality game of Counter-Strike. It's like good old-fashioned Infuse versus FM Toxic, mate. I'm telling you. Vexed versus... Yeah, I think most people won't even understand that. Most people won't understand that, but there will be like 10% of the viewers who will understand it, and they'll get the sarcasm. But anyways, seized. Oh my God, he's going to catch Vexed from behind. He's pulling the trigger, but Furlan looking to go massive. Gets one. I think, no, he's not dealt damage. Zeus is surely soon going to realize nothing's actually going to be coming from long. But Vexed with 25 seconds on the clock, they need to move. Flash in towards double doors, and Hyper's going to have to dodge the fire in lower tunnels. Trigger is pulled. Hyper headshot is gotten, and towards B they march. And they've got no time to mess around here. The plant has to occur now.
And look at Zeus. He pushed through, but he's being smoked off. He's even going to push through the smoke by the thing. He catches 2 off guard. Zeus with a double headshot here and gets the 3rd onto Furlan. Oh my gosh. Vexed were not expecting that whatsoever. They had no idea that he was so close to being able to rotate through there. And what a retake. This game, again, is just proving to be one of the best I think I've ever seen on Dust 2, to be quite honest. It's got everything a Counter-Strike fan could ever want to watch. And that was heartbreaking. Vexed really should have taken that round here, Kainak. But all of that momentum which they picked up in the early rounds of this game has been completely diminished now. This is looking great for Na'Vi.
Na'Vi, 3 people towards long this round. Molotov in, slowing things down, making sure Vexed can't essentially rush straight out and surprise their opposition. And that's all Na'Vi have to do. Play the clock. Utilize those defensive Molotovs. Utilize those defensive smokes to cut off choke points. And essentially run the timer down till around 30 seconds or so and force Vexed into fully committing to one area of the map because they'll need to get the bomb down. And we can see it with how passive Na'Vi are playing.
Na'Vi have just mixed things up at times. They've been playing really aggressive and pushing things. You know, like we saw Edward push through those long doors. Then we saw Siege down in lower tunnels earlier on, really getting some good information over towards the short area when Vexed were pushing up there. And it's been a mixed match. It's been, you know, Na'Vi have been really playing defensive and backing off when needed to and utilising, you know, like the edges of smokes and stuff and kind of like the head glitch spots where not much of their body can be seen. But then they've been pushing to get information as well. And I just really like the CT setup for them.
Vexed mounting attack towards the A-bomb site. Guardian is gonna get massacred. And Zeus, oh my god, he's touching one of the Vexed players. He's completely missed him, but he's gonna get a double anyways. Furlan is gonna go in search of him. Can he find him? That is the question. Just about does so. And Furlan and Pete now to try and prevent the retake. Seized only has an AWP. It's going to be incredibly difficult for him. Flamey and Edward really need to step things up, and you know what they will do. More than enough time to defuse that bomb, and Navi will make it 17-15.
They are not giving up their map pick of Dust 2 here again. I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. This was a 14-6 scoreline in favour of the Vexed players. And now we've landed ourselves up at 15-17. That is one round in the last. I dread to think how many. My maths is pretty awful, to be quite honest. Yeah, that's one round in the last 12, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty dire.
Come on, Vexed. See what you can do. Again, constantly trying to get that long hook control and getting bombarded by nades early on. Flamey just hiding behind that corner in the B bomb site. Adapting the same approach they did in normal time with a double setup within the bomb site. Not really playing anyone significantly towards mid or looking through mid. Most of the time just playing with someone in CT spawn. But Seeds actually went for a peek there. I believe he got slightly damaged. They still will live to fight another day. And Vexed at the moment, they're feeling the map out, trying to figure out exactly how their opponents are set up to mount an attack, but Navi aren't showing anything.
One thing again they've got to really be careful of here is these long players pushing through aggressively and getting some some early information. But that being said, they're banking all of their forces on this new bomb site, and Grubby's going to be able to find one there. He was a player who was just absolutely performing amazingly earlier on, and since this comeback from Navi, he's been very, very slow indeed. Zeus once again, he just loves the smoke, this guy. He's just going right through the edge of them time and time again. He picks up another frag, and my gosh, is he feeling confident. We are left into a 2 versus 2 here. Sorry, a 2 versus 3 even, with Navi, that man advantage for them. Grubby's going to peek out there. Will he find anybody? He sprays just at the right time as he takes down Zeus and Guardian. And now it's all left up to Edward. There's 17 seconds left on the clock, so maybe he can do significant damage here. But he's missed his shots, and now he's very low indeed as Grubby will take him down. Finally, Vex pick up another round. Kyanite, we're still not over yet, mate. The magic goal is number 19. We're going to the second half, 17-16.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I've been stood up all day today, but my legs are killing after that. I've been jumping around left, right and centre. What a game we've just witnessed. And the best part is, it's still not over. Even after this map, we could potentially have 2 more maps of this amazing Counter-Strike. Guardian. Oh! Straight into the face of Pete. What a start for Navi on this terrorist side. The rest of the Navi lads wasting no time, making their way towards the B bomb site. Flamey is going to headshot Grubby, and again the bomb site belongs completely to them.
This is again so great from Navi here. Is we talked so much earlier on about how slow they take things at times, especially on the T side of this map, but now look at how aggressive they're taking it. That being said, have a look at Seized, Flamey, and there was Guardian, who's also gone down. All 3 of them were very, very low indeed, so slightly unlucky for Vex not to be able to pick up the kill. Hyper's going to push through solo there and maybe try and deal some damage, but won't be able to pick up enough. Rallen's got to save the AWP. He's got no other option here, so Navi, even with 3 players initially low, Seized is actually going to go down in the end there. Guardian fell earlier on. They were able to pick up the round, and Kyanite, they've almost completed the comeback. 18-16, map point for Navi.
Comeback is real. Do you think it is? Can they do it?
Oh yeah. I honestly thought that again.
Look
I'm
at
not
this.
Saying this to sound good. Oh wow, we've got the 3 auto snipers set up.
Hey!
This is a bit of like payback for that knife attempt earlier on. They're just shoving it right back in their faces now with a bit of humiliation.
Oh god. Hyper. Crawling towards long. Does he realise how close Edward is? I'm not too sure. Edward's going to pop flash in, and he's going to chop off his face. Off with your head, he says. And Rallen and Grubby now left to try and fight on. It's been one hell of a game, but it will come to an end. Dust 2 goes to Navi, mounting a brilliant comeback. They took it into overtime and somehow managed to win it. And Chewy, I'm not sure about you, but I need a break after that.
I most certainly do indeed. I think I need a bit of fresh air because that was an absolutely phenomenal map. Probably, in all honesty, one of the best maps of Dust 2 I think I've seen, especially in a while. And one quick thing to point out again was just how quiet Grubby was, but you know, after picking up so much early momentum for his teammates. But again, great play by Seized at times. Zeus as well picked up amazing frag. Of course, Guardian tops the way with fragging, 34 kills to his name, and Edward as well. To be honest, all of the Na'Vi players put in a shift when they needed to, and they get rewarded for it. First map in favour of Na'Vi as we move to Cobblestone, which will be map number 2.
Alright guys, we'll be back in a few minutes time. Don't go anywhere.